Good afternoon, folks. I just got back from a road trip this last weekend, and I got myself a whole pile of movies here, some of which I'm going to definitely be reviewing on my channel here, but some of them I'm not really sure. I just bought them because impulse and, I don't know, rarity, how interesting, how weird is this movie, but, I'm going to eventually get around to doing most of these movies. And maybe, let me know in the comments below if you see anything in there that you might be interested in. I see some Gamera right there. Okay, so let's take a look at what I got here. I got some gems here, man. How about Flight of the Navigator? Now, I've seen this probably on like cable TV, or in Canada what we used to call pay TV, the super channel, that kind of thing. I don't remember much about this. It's a kid that gets basically abducted by extraterrestrials and flies around and stops a nuclear war or something. I don't know, but one notable thing about this too is that the robot, I guess this is supposed to be part of the console of the ship or whatever, the robot that runs the ship is apparently voiced by Paul Rubens. I don't remember that, so I'm going to have to check that one out. Then I got Romancing the Stone. I like Michael Douglas. Kathleen Turner, yeah, she's pretty cool. It'll be interesting to check this one out. It'll be the first time I've seen it all the way through, so Romancing the Stone. Then I got Armed and Dangerous. John Candy, who actually he and Eugene Levy are the stars of this, but for whatever reason John Candy was more popular, so they put him on the cover. And it's a movie about the two of them. I think they become security guards. This one is notable too because this is the first movie I ever saw Meg Ryan in. And I love Meg Ryan. She's gorgeous and just charming actress. And don't see as much of her anymore. But, whatever. She was in like everything in the 90s. Rear Window. An Alfred Hitchcock classic movie. What year is this? I've never actually looked it up. 1954. Holy crap. Rear Window. Yeah, it's about a guy who's, I see he's in a wheelchair there, has some injury or something, and he's stuck inside, and all he gets to do is look out the window the whole time, and he's got, he's gets to photographing people, and he discovers some kind of a murder mystery, and I guess he tries to solve it. I know there's more to it than that. I've never seen this movie all the way through, but I've always been intrigued by the concept, and they explore that in the Simpsons. I'm sure I've seen a parody of it in the Simpsons, and probably even SpongeBob. Tremors 2. Yeah, Tremors. You remember Kevin Bacon, Fred Ward, and Giant Worms? Well, and the dad from Family Ties, Michael Gross. This one is a sequel. Fred Ward. No Kevin Bacon. Yeah, I've seen this and it's not bad. It's fun, just like the first one, and goofy monsters and funny characters and stuff. Without Kevin Bacon, though, is it as good as the original? So I guess with Kevin Bacon not being in this, that would make that 1 degree of Kevin Bacon separation, would it not? Looking forward to that one. Oh, and looking forward to this too. Bruce Lee's Game of Death. This is the movie that Bruce Lee died before this movie was completed. This is his last theatrically released movie, I guess. You can see here he's fighting Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. That should be an interesting part of the movie to watch. All I really remember about this, I have never seen this one all the way through either. But all I remember is that Bruce Lee wears a tracksuit for most of the movie. He fights Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and at one point, since the movie was incomplete, they actually have like a body double with his head superimposed on the body double. At least I think something like that, so I'm going to have to give this a watch and check it out. Then I got Runaway. Runaway, starring Tom Selleck and this lady here. Let's see, we got Tom Selleck, Cynthia Rhodes, Gene Simmons, oh I do remember that, and Kirstie Alley. Okay, well, here's Gene Simmons in some kind of robot distress there. Kirstie Alley, Tom Selleck again. Tom Selleck Runaway. I don't remember anything about this at all, except for little robots, little cheap-looking robots. Some kind of a sci-fi or near-future dystopian blah, blah, blah. Well, the secondhand store I was in, they had like 5 copies of this. I thought I'd help out the store and get rid of one of those for them. Oh, and then I got a couple movies here that I remember these from when I was a kid. I know that I've seen these on TV. Airport movies. Now, I don't know if I've seen the whole thing of these, because that's just how it goes when you're a kid and you're watching stuff on TV. Now, if you're not familiar, the airport movies are like the disaster films where everybody's trapped on a plane and the plane is going to crash, or some kind of distress aboard an airplane, or possibly in an airport, I guess. Yeah, these are the movies they parodied in the movie Airplane. This pile is getting pretty big. Now, here's one that my brother suggested to me that I should watch. And we were out at the bar one night and we were talking about, I got a movie channel and I'm going to be reviewing some movies, and you got any suggestions? And he says, without hesitation, he said, why don't you do El Mariachi? But it's a Robert Rodriguez movie, and it's followed up by Desperado, starring Antonio Banderas. I don't think Antonio Banderas is in this one. I don't know. Otherwise, it would say his name probably on the front. But apparently, it's a fantastic movie. It's super low budget, and it's made for, in spare time with borrowed equipment and stuff, and it's got a story behind it, which I don't really know the whole story, but my brother said this to me, you got to see this movie, and I'm like, I don't know, it's probably pretty hard to find, and I was kind of like, I don't know if I want to watch that movie anyway. But then I went to the secondhand store the very next day, and that's the first movie on the shelf, and they had 2 copies of it. I'm not joking, it was the first movie I saw on the shelf, and it's right there. I was like, okay, well, now I gotta do this one. So you're gonna be seeing this movie coming up on my channel real soon. Apparently, this is another one of those worst movies ever made. I mean, Plan 9, right? Plan 9 from Outer Space, made by Ed Wood. Well, here's another Ed Wood movie. Ed Wood, Bela Lugosi, Dolores Fuller. What am I, man or woman? It's Glenn or Glenda. It's supposed to be even worse than Plan 9 from Outer Space. Okay, Mr. Mom. This is a pretty mainstream movie. It's old AF, but I mean, this is 1983, I think. Mr. Mom, I know that I saw this in the theater. I definitely saw this at the drive-in back in the 80s. I remember it being pretty funny, and I remember liking Michael Keaton a lot in this and thinking he was pretty funny. Terry Garr, of course, was in tons of comedies in the 80s. Mr. Mom, it's about a stay-at-home dad, which was a pretty novel thing in 1983. Gotta love this guy. Cheech Marin, born in East LA. And another movie that I probably saw about half of it on, cable. And I don't remember anything about this other than it takes place in East LA, and it's Cheech Marin. So you get your Cheech, but you don't get your Chong. So we'll have to go back and revisit this one. I don't remember anything about it, and it's not very highly regarded, but it's notable because this is the first solo project by Cheech Marin that I'm aware of, and I know that I've seen this. I'm not sure in what form, but this is Mission Galactica: The Cylon Attack. Now, of course, we're talking about Battlestar Galactica, the TV show. Earlier on my channel, last year or year before, whatever, I reviewed the Battlestar Galactica VHS of the theatrical release of Battlestar Galactica, and that was the first 2.5 or 3 episodes of the show. This is continuing that trend. I'm not sure what episodes these are. I don't know if this is right after the other theatrical release, or like if those episodes take place right after, like episodes 4, 5, 6 or something like that. I have no idea. All I remember is that Lloyd Bridges is in it. You know Lloyd Bridges, right, from Airplane? Picked the wrong day to quit sniffing glue. The pile is getting out of control. Now we got Mighty Joe Young. Speaking of out of control, Ray Harryhausen special effects classic, 1949. You'd think it would be like a King Kong ripoff, but it's totally not. I mean, it's kind of, there's some elements that people were expecting from this movie. It's like, well, he's got to go climb something, and he's got to, you know, we got to see a giant gorilla rampaging around instead of just doing stuff. But Mighty Joe Young is like friendly though, and it's really weird. So he like attacks this, he wrecks this nightclub or whatever because he's being exploited, and then he gets attacked by lions. Then he has to, at the end of the movie, rescue a bunch of orphans from a burning building and become a hero. I mean, have you seen the Disney remake with Charlize Theron? It's pretty much like that, but this is like original black and white with stop motion effects rather than CGI. Yeah, Mighty Joe Young. I'm happy to have like a physical copy of this now. And you know I love giant monsters. Oh, suspiciously there's no label on here. And now I did check this in the store, so I was aware. But there is a, I don't know, rather cheaply looking printed label on there. And it looks to me like this is a bootleg that somebody just made a cover for. I'm cool with that, as long as it works, as long as I can look at it and I can see what the heck's going on. Now, I didn't just get VHS. Now, I gotta say that right now. Now, of course, I love VHS, and if I could find stuff on any format, it would be on VHS, just because it's kitschy and cool. Because I just want to be different, man. But no, I got some DVDs too. Here's one, or rather, not one movie. It's 50 sci-fi classics. Now, I saw this in the store and I was like, camera, gotta have that. And there's 50 movies on here. And it turns out, I went through this whole list. There's actually 3 movies featuring Gamera in this collection. It's all split up into these discs here. There's like 14 discs. They're double-sided. And there's like 4 to 5 movies on each one of these DVDs. And there's a disc missing. Which one's missing? The one that has 2 out of the 3 Gamera movies on it, as well as like Bride of the Gorilla, which is another movie I want to see. There is one Gamera movie on here. I think it's, I don't know, it's the Space Octopus one. I don't know if you're familiar with Gamera, a giant fire-breathing turtle. And he fights other weird Japanese rubber monsters. I was really looking forward to seeing all 3 of those. But now I only get one of them, and that sucks. But I get like a shit ton more movies here. Santa Claus Conquers the Martians is on here. We have Laser Mission. I don't know anything about that, but it's apparently stars Ernest Borgnine and Brandon Lee, son of Bruce Lee. So I might have to check that out. Galaxy Invader. I got Ega, which is about a caveman. Blood Tide, featuring James Earl Jones, some kind of a monster movie. And then Voyage to the Planet of Prehistoric Women. Now, that title, you gotta check that out. Yeah, I mean, like, a lot of these are garbage, and there's no way that I'm gonna go through all of it. Like, remember when I got the Croczilla collection, and there was like 8 movies on it? It took me forever to go through those, because they were all so crappy and boring old sci-fi movies. And that's basically what this is. Like, there's the Wasp Woman. Most of these I've never heard of, but they all say space or planet or monster or whatever in there. This is getting to be a really long video, but hey, I got lots of stuff, and I gotta finish this up here. They have a double feature disc. It's got My Bloody Valentine and April Fool's Day. So, holiday-themed slasher movies, I guess, horror movies. Now, I had to double check because I know that they remade My Bloody Valentine, and I'm pretty sure they remade April Fool's Day as well. But no, I checked it out on the back cover here, and these are the original 80s releases. My Bloody Valentine, I believe, is a Canadian movie, and April Fool's Day might be a British movie. I'm not sure, but I have never seen either one of these, to be honest with you. I've seen lots of reviews of them, and I know what they're about, and I probably even know the endings of these. I don't know. I think like next February I'll have to get to doing this one. I know everybody reviews this movie on Valentine's Day, but it makes sense, right? And April Fool's Day, ooh, that's coming up. Maybe I'll watch this one and review that for April Fool's. Who knows? Then finally, I just got this on a whim because I saw the cover and I read some of the info, and I was like, Monster Brawl, the Fight of the Living Dead. No, that's got to be good. And then I noticed Dave Foley from Kids in the Hall is in this. He got first billing over Lance Henriksen, you know, Bishop from Aliens. Anyway, this is Monster Brawl. Apparently it's like all these monsters and stuff, and I guess regular people too. And it's like, I think it's like arena or boxing ring kind of matches. Yeah, here we go. There's a boxing ring, and it looks like Dave Foley's one of the announcers. This has got to be a parody. I mean, it's got Dave Foley, Lance Henriksen, and a whole bunch of like wrestlers and stuff in there. Wrestlers and UFC fighters, and I guess like they all like dress up in monster makeup, and it's just a goofy. I'm guessing it's a comedy. Either that or it's so bad that it's funny, or maybe it's both. That sounds like something I'd want to check out. So Monster Brawl, top of the pile with you, Monster Brawl. So yeah, maybe let me know if there's any of these ones you want to see me review. Like I said, El Mariachi's coming up for sure, because I promised my brother I would do that one. Possibly that one Gamera movie that's on there, because I've never done a Gamera movie. And you know I'm eventually going to do this one too, Mighty Joe Young. Anyway, thanks again for sticking around and watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe and all that good stuff. And take care. May the force be with you. And have a good one, everybody.